We're making sure that we're not obligated to the inmate, that we're not dependent on the inmate. But that's why we're put in this position. We have to be better than them. Because if we don't respect ourselves, we can't expect the public to. How you guys doing today? It's Anthony Gangi, host of Tear Talk, and today is September 11th, 9/11. And today I'm going to get a little personal with you guys. I'm going to tell you what I feel 9/11 means to me. I don't usually get personal. Usually I vent about correctional issues. But I'm going to tell you what I was able to take from 9/11. So when we come back from our sponsors, let's get a little personal. As always, guys, the show is Tear Talk. So if you haven't, please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. That bell's going to notify you every time I post up a video. I stand by for our sponsors.
I wanted to attend a university that had an intelligence program. I wanted to look at problems different. I wanted to increase my critical thinking abilities. AMU offered those avenues to expand. Obtaining your degree as an adult, you're actually paying yourself and investing in yourself. You can't put a dollar on it, it's priceless. It's something that can never be taken away from you.
American Military University. Learn from the leader.
Thank you guys for listening to my sponsor. What does 9/11 mean to me? That's a great question. You know, guys, by the way, this is a personal question. Feel free to comment. Let's see what 9/11 means to you. Comment. I'm curious to see what you took from such a tragic event. You know, I remember when it happened, guys. I know exactly where I was, exactly how I felt, you know, and that's because there's an emotion tied to that memory. When you have an emotion tied to a memory, it's specific. You know the specifics of the where, the when, how you felt. It's the emotion that recalls that moment in perfection, if you will. I was working at a restaurant. I was a waiter, and we were prepping for the day, and my manager had come and said, hey, a plane just hit one of the towers, and we were able to go up to the roof of the restaurant. It's out of Clifton, New Jersey, and we were able to see the towers. We were only about 15-minute drive from New York. I live in northern New Jersey. And as we're watching the smoke, we saw the second plane hit, and we knew at that point it was deliberate. But you could smell it. It was a really bad smell. And you just froze. You really didn't know what to say. Talked a lot when the first plane hit, but said nothing really after the second plane hit. And today I was lucky because today I got to give a speech because we were doing a service. And I'm honored first to do this speech. And as I'm doing this speech, I'm just trying to, I don't really prep speeches. I just go with my feeling. I think it comes out to be more honest that way. And one of the things I was thinking about is for us, we remember it. But now we have a generation coming up that it's like Pearl Harbor to us. Like we didn't live it, we know of it, or we were too young to remember it. But it's becoming that part of history. It's being taught in history classes now. But we actually know what it's like to have gone through that moment. And there's something I remember when, in the aftermath, me and my girlfriend, who later became my wife, we decided to go out to the city, and we were coming through Port Authority. It was only a couple of days after the incident. And I remember seeing posters everywhere of people that they said were missing. And we knew deep down inside these people weren't missing. They were taken from us. You know, they were under the debris. Somewhere in our mind where there was the hope that they were just missing, people that were just calling for help, and that they just haven't gotten rescued yet, but there was a reality to it all too, that we knew that these people weren't missing. But it's how families chose to heal with it initially. You know, say they were missing because they couldn't think the fact that they were gone. Even we couldn't, because the numbers that were taken were obviously close to 3,000 people. And when you walk through Port Authority, every face was different. So many different lives taken. But there was something unique about that day, something that I think has traveled with me. And not so much just based on the tragic event that happened in 9/11, but just tragedy that goes on through my life. The tragic moments of like the death of a loved one. And it comes into fruition because I saw a gentleman who saw me and my girlfriend, again, who would be my wife later on, looking at a poster, and I think he thought we knew the individual. And when he was asking us questions, we told him, that we didn't know the individual, but, it's sad what had happened. But this gentleman was so willing to help us. We were strangers, and so willing to just try to comfort us. And I noticed out of this tragic event, that was what was the beautiful part of it all, was the fact that we were no longer divided as a nation. It's sad to say, but it changed now, unfortunately. But we weren't divided. We were together. We were strong, and we were helping each other up. And I noticed the same thing happens like at a funeral, like for a loved one, where you have family that you weren't getting along with for a while, and a tragic event brings everybody together, and you make that promise to kind of stick together from now on, and eventually the promise flees, and everybody goes their own separate way, that division. And I was thinking another thing about 9/11 is the finality of a moment. At any moment your life could be taken. So it kind of pushes on the fact that we don't want to be divided for too long, because you never know when that last day is going to come. And then just seeing right now how divided we are 17 years later. We remember the event, but do we remember the impact of the event? And what I mean by the impact is the aftermath, when we all came together and helped each other through the moments. I think for some reason that leaves us, and that's sad. It really is. We remember the immediate moment, the loss of lives and the hurt and the pain. But what we tend not to also focus on is the good that came out of it, however temporary. And I would like to say that's something to me that we should focus on. That even though we remember the losses, we should also remember that it brought us together, however temporary it was, but it did bring us together, and we should remember that today. If anything, that's the purpose it serves. That through tragedy, we're able to remain together, be strong, pick each other up. So that's what it means to me. 9/11 means to me it reminds me that we need each other. That moments, you never know what moment's going to be your last. And at the end of the day, all we have is each other. So if there's concerns that you have with somebody else, and really they're petty concerns, nip it. End it. Because you never know when it's going to be that last moment for either one of you. And you're never going to have that chance to say what you really feel. So that's what 9/11 means to me. All right, guys, as always, the show is Tear Talk. Please comment. Tell me what it means to you. Get personal. Get personal. I want to know what it means to you. As always, guys, the show is Tear Talk, so please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. That bell will notify you every time I post a video. As always, guys, stay safe.